It's Richie Lewis reporting for cadred.org. I'm here with two members of Epsilon before their crunch game against Speedlink in the groups. I'll come over to you, Henry G. Greer first. Out of retirement, why have you come back to this game?
I don't know really. Once the new update and stuff came out and the new LANs were announced and stuff like that, I had a team offer from a lot of old friends from Salvo and Power, and it's an offer I couldn't really refuse, to be honest.
Okay, but you know, you sort of announced a retirement. There's a little bit of a danger of you becoming the next Rich Gibbs if you keep doing that and then coming back to the scene. You know, I mean, do you think this is going to be something progressive, or is this like kind of the last hurrah? You know, this team is definitely where it's going to stop.
Well, to be honest, like the reason I announced my retirement last time was the new job I got working in the gaming industry, and I thought I was going to take up a lot more time and I wouldn't be able to play. And it turns out the freelance work I do, I have a lot more time to play than originally thought. So it just seemed like a good idea to have something to do in my free time.
Okay, well, I'll move over to Wes. Of course, you're another one that's kind of been almost in retirement, flirting with 1.6, coming back to Source. What prompted that move? You seem to have a cushy deal in that Dignitas team in 1.6. Saw you out at the SWC and other events like that. So what happened?
Basically, Curtis and some other players couldn't really play that much, so we were never really going to reach our potential to do well, and it was kind of frustrating to keep going to events and getting really bad placings. So and then Henry and Sam and that got in contact with me and said they were making a Source team and if I wanted to join, so I just thought it'd be best for me, really.
Well, I thought it was interesting because for you to turn your back on 1.6, you know, over on that other 1.6 site, hltv.org, they obviously have quite a lot of statistical data, and you were one of the best riflers in Europe on there, which would suggest to me there could have been opportunities for the 1.6 European teams. Was that ever on the table?
No, I never got approached by another team or anything. But I'm not sure if I would really go to another team. I mean, I was having quite a lot of fun in Dignitas. It was just the winning side of it, but I'm pretty comfortable to be back playing Source with Henry and all that now. So.
Well, picking up on that, I mean, this 2011 seems to be a big year for CSS. ESWC's announced that there's going to be qualifiers. Hopefully they do go ahead and run. You know, you were around when there was WCG for CSS. That's how far back you go, and of course, with your 1.6 background, you've played at ESWCs as well. Do you guys think now is maybe the time when we're going to see CSS start to overtake 1.6, or do you think it's still very much in the balance?
I think with things like ESWC announced is a good start. It's to see how well that actually does. It's going to decide whether it's got any chance of even competing with 1.6. I know there's a lot of hearsay going around that 1.6 is dying, and then there's just a few things have been announced. I don't think it's on its way out by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good to see Sources getting some recognition. Finally.
Yeah, I mean 1.6 has been around for so long. Like, it's not just going to suddenly die. Like, so it's going to take a while before tournaments stop using it altogether. But it's a good step for Source anyway. So.
What about some of the other events that have been kind of announced? Like, we've got Copenhagen Games coming up, which is like £20,000. You know, it's quite a big prize pot. I mean, you know, you guys must be sort of having one eye on going and competing for that as well. I mean, is that going to be the case with Epsilon?
I think this year, it's because we're all getting to our heyday now, all like 23 plus. I think this is our make or break year, and I think it's the same for Source as well. Like, this is the big year, and if it goes well, it could be really good for Source, and it could be good for us as well. So we want to make sure we go to all of these events.
Yeah.
What he said. Okay, well, here's another question I got to ask you, because there's been a lot of rumours circulating around about Epsilon. I heard quite a few things that maybe there were some problems within the organisation. You ended up coming out here very late, and you know, people have started talking as they do. What's the situation? I mean, you know, I don't see you guys in any team shirts. Like, how much can I, you know, if I'm an outsider, how much can I read into all of this?
Well, the only problem we've had is, like I said, me working, Wes has had exams, we're all at uni and stuff, so we didn't practice as much as we could have done before the event. So there was like confusion whether we'd actually be attending this event, but we felt we were ready, and we proposed to them what we wanted to do, and although there was some discussions to start with, in the end, we're here, we're happy to be here, so yeah, it's all good.
Well, how does it feel for someone like yourself? I mean, I'd say Epsilon have had some good teams in the past, certainly most notably the French team that they had. But, you know, you've played for Salvo, you know, CGS, salaried player. You've played for Team Dignitas, you know, again, to stress it, you've been out at big 1.6 events. What about you? I mean, does anything kind of impress you these days, or are you just, cruising along?
I did kind of get a bit complacent after CGS because it was just everything was handed to you. Like, it was a ridiculous salary, like put up in amazing apartments and everything like that. And it's pretty hard for other organisations to compete with that. But Epsilon have done everything we've asked of them, and they're treating us well. So
I don't think you can compare anything to CGS.
Yeah, you can't really.
This is like that's never going to happen again, especially in Source, maybe in 1.6. But yeah, we've got everything we need at the moment. So yeah, everything's good.
Okay, so what about expectations then? I mean, you guys have got, I'd say, on paper, probably is one of the best teams here, but paper can lie. You guys have admitted that you've not practiced so much as you would like, and real life's starting to creep in and take over. What's the minimum, and bearing in mind you are in a team with Rattlesnake, what's the minimum acceptable finish for you guys?
I think with maps like Contra and Season being introduced, we just haven't had time to play them, so there's rusty areas to our game. But I think with the way the elimination's been set up, that you're going to keep eliminating maps, so you don't want to play. There's no rules against it. I think we're capable of winning it. I don't want us to go ahead and say, "Oh, we're definitely going for the win." It's our first official this LAN.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't think we'd be happy with anything but top 3, but I think we're capable of winning.
Mm-hmm. And what about you? Like, are you kind of daunted at the prospect of having to play on Season? You can't have played a competitive game on Season before.
I think I played my first game ever on it like last week or something. So.
And what do you think of it?
I have no idea. I was just running around, like, no idea what was going on.
We got being like 16-2 or something, and instead of never playing it again, just eliminates it.
Well, if you eliminate that, there's a chance you might have to play on Contra. How do you feel about Contra being back after so long, kind of out of the tournament cycle? I think the last time it was used in a UK tournament was like I-33, so it goes back quite a ways. It's a map I've always personally liked, but I don't know how you guys.
There's anything wrong with the map. I think it's the
players.
Yeah, it's the approach to the map. No one wants to play it because we've got 5 maps everyone's been playing, and then to come back to a map and no one's really that good at it. Everyone's trying to avoid it. It seems like I don't really like it that much. I think it's too complicated. It doesn't make a good spectator match, and I think the core 5 maps are perfectly playable, and I don't think it's needed, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's not that bad a map really, but everyone just seems to play it as a mix because nobody's really played it before. So yeah.
Well, final question. Obviously, I know you guys will have to say that you're going to win it, kind of when you're not on camera, because as I say, Sam looks like he's pretty angry. Although the Chelsea results took a little bit of that off. But who do you think are going to be the other teams to kind of look for at this event? Like, is there any team that you don't particularly want to play?
Well, it's MTW's the main competition, really, I'd say.
Yeah, I think
with 3 UK players now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I'm still a bit wary of them. Like, they brought Dan in a week before the event. Like, it could be brilliant for them, and it could be like not so great. So, hopefully we'll see. Like, I know they're going to be the favourites to win by far. Still, even with because Dan's so obviously it goes without saying how good he is. But
and just to stress, that is your mobile phone that's going off. You haven't got a clown like in your pants or anything. Okay, cool.
Unprofessional.
No, it's good. It happened to me in the last one. Don't worry about it. I was doing integral, so that was like tough enough as it is. But yeah. So, and what about yourself? I mean, because I know you'll know a lot about MTW. You played with Wilzu. You've played with George famously down the years, and I think you've both played with Dan, haven't you? Briefly, yeah. So, I think I mean, do you think like it's going to be quite a strong representation for the UK? Like, for example, is it inconceivable that it could be both of you in the final?
No, not at all. Like, I think that's probably going to be the case, really, like, without sounding a bit arrogant, maybe.
I think it'd be a good final. It'd be a very good spectator final. If everyone here, especially the kind of atmosphere in the room, if we got to play them, that'd be brilliant.
I think that's made them stronger as well, really, to be honest. Like, introducing Will and Dan, definitely. I think they're better than the 2 players that they had before. It's just a case of have they had enough time with Dan.
Okay, well, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us on the couch today. I hope the clown gets looked after and whatnot. And of course, to all the people out there who are watching Cadre.org, do stay tuned to the website. We're going to have more content periodically over the course of the day, so keep watching.